Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel. I haven't done a box opening in a while, and I've got my new kit of the month from Salvino JR Models, and this one is a little special, so I want to share it with you. Stick around. Okay guys, so what's special about this one? It is my first Mustang, and if you noticed, I had kind of cut back on some of these box openings, and the reason I have is Lucas is doing an awesome job, and Jim, the designer of these kits, is also doing box openings now, and who better to do them than the guy that designed them? So I kind of slacked up on that a little bit, but this one is my first Mustang, so I wanted to share that with you. And you might know I opened it upside down, so let me see if I can get this thing out of here. All right, and there is, if you're a member of the Builders Club, you know that you also get the extra decals. Is the Ryan Blaney 2023. I hear some things about this that I'm curious to share with you, so we'll get to that in a second. But let's take a look at the decals this month. There's our usual, and it's the Little Barn in Texas, the sticker for this month. So very cool, very cool. Also a set of the, and if you've looked at some of these other box openings, you already know what's in them. But there's the Hardee's for the, I think that's the 83 Hardee's car. The 11s for the, I think that's for the 81 Monte Carlo, the last of the big ones, and a set of the Budweiser Junior Johnson Bud car. All right, so there's decals. Love extra decals, guys, and that is a big bonus for being part of it. Now let's get over here to this Mustang. As you know, if you follow NASCAR, the chassis on the Mustang, the Toyota, and the Camaro are all the same. That's regulated by NASCAR. I think the power plants, of course, are different, and there's a few different things in it. And one of the big things with this, they did the limited edition of the Championship and the Daytona 500 cars from 2022, and that's the only 2022 cars they did. And then we're into the 2023s, and I know the hood configurations, the exhaust ports, there's a few little subtle differences in here, but based on what I've heard from Jim and from other folks, there are some other little things that they made changes in this kit compared to the Camaros, aside the body stuff. As far as the technical stuff, like the instruction sheet and all, we'll take a look at that. I'm curious to see that too, so we'll share that with you guys as we see it for the first time. And yes, I am very meticulous about opening these. I try to save the top portion. I only remove the bottom piece there. That way the top of the box is protected. And there's another way to open it where you can save a little more of that. But wow, it's got some heft to it, and that is a tightly packed box. And I hear this body is, whoa, wow. I hope you can see this to the same tone that I can. This is some bright, kind of close to fluorescent yellow. And based on what I can see so far, everybody's been talking about the, let me put the hobby knife down here before I injure myself and use my pointer here. The dash is included here. Spoiler, the stuff that's configured just for the Ford. And as I understand it with the Ford, these vents are much wider. And I think they even go back just a little bit further for the Mustang. And the snorkel, all of that stuff is different. For the most part, the chassis is exactly the same, which is the way it is on the real cars. Let's take a look at this Mustang body. Oh, wow. And this thing, guys, I don't know if you can tell, but this thing is bright. The headlight accents. The grill works there. Oh yeah, that distinctive rear Mustang look back there. And keep in mind, too, one of the things that they did keep the same is the greenhouse, as far as the windshield, the rear window, that kind of stuff is the same for every car. So the greenhouse is the same, despite whether it's Ford, Toyota, and I may have that wrong, but that's my understanding. And of course, I hadn't fit anything in here, so I don't know that yet. But they do have that distinct Mustang body line right there that I don't think is on the Camaro. This is really cool. You got your antennas and camera mount on the roof. Down the side there, the little bubbles out there. This is really cool. Okay. And again, guys, I'm thinking this summer I'll just mount one of these bodies on the front of my tractor, and I won't even have to use the headlights. I'll cut the field at night. That's some bright stuff. All right. We've got our tires, which look really good. And there's those windows, all our clear parts. Really nice. And this, as I said, for the most part, there's going to be a few parts that are unique to the Mustang, but I think for the most part everything else is the same as NASCAR requires it to be. And here's what I really wanted to get a look at. Let's get these out here. And as I recall, the only thing that needs to be painted on this car is the hood, and it's got to be either a semi-gloss or a gloss, and then you can dull it down a little bit however you choose to do that. But let's look at the decals first. Okay, first up. Wow. Oh, they even put the stock look exhausts. How about that? And you've got your blacked out section for the tail lights, and then the tail light individual. And these are, Clay always does such an outstanding job in anything that he does, but these things just look awesome. Yeah, these are really, really, really great. Let's get a look here at the wow. And you know what? This fluorescent yellow, look at that. That's pretty much a dead match for that plastic. Now, guys, I'm not griping at the company or anything, but I'm old school. I paint everything just about anyway. I would assume this being in either white or the light gray, but you know, so I don't know what's going on, but that's about the second ambulance or a fire truck that's gone by. So overlook that. We're fine here. God bless whoever it is, though. Nice looking decals, very crisp. That is kind of a semi to gloss. So you just paint the hood. Everything else is in decals, though, guys. Space there for the camera, and if you remember, you had the piece, the decal that goes on in this spot right there. So you got that'll fill in right there. Very cool. Menards. And once again, Clay did an outstanding job, and of course Power Slide's quality of work is beyond measure. All right, let's get over here and take a look at these instructions. Okay, here's the specific instructions to the for the Mustang, and as you see, pretty much that part's the same. Decal placement, always helpful. I know with the old NASCARs, you used to see that change from track to track. A lot of the contingency stuff was different, but there's very few contingency decals on these compared to the old ones. And I think this is pretty much the same. There's a few differences This looks to be pretty much the same. I've got a kind of surprise Camaro that's been in the works for a little while, and we'll talk about that another time. But like I said, that's a surprise. And as I understand it, there was a couple of changes that Clay had made as far as which parts go where first. And I could be wrong about that too, but that was something I'd heard somewhere. You guys know how I love detailing engines, and this thing just And by the way, these instructions are very comprehensive, and by all means follow them in the way they're supposed to be built in the by the numbers, so to speak. Once you get one or two of them under your belt, though, they are all so much easier. Yeah, now here we go. You've got for the Chevy, the configuration on the snorkel. For the Ford, and of course there'll be one for the Toyota as well. And then the parts, this is also part of the intake for the snorkel there for the Chevrolet. And to kind of make it a little more generic as far as the instructions go, I think this is a wise idea too. This looks really good, guys. Really good. And of course you've got the diffuser pan down there just like the other ones, and I think there's a few short tracks they don't run that on, but for the most part that's one of the things. Very, very cool. And then you've got again that supplemental page there. So hey, I wanted to share this with you guys. The Mustang, I think overall the body is excellent. The dimensions look good to me, without breaking out the ruler and all that kind of stuff in my NASCAR rule book, but I think this looks pretty cool. I was not expecting this screaming at you yellow, but that's okay. Well guys, thanks. I appreciate you tagging along on this one. I was kind of eager to see this new one and how different it was, and we'll probably do it again. I probably won't review another Mustang unless it's just something really, really off the hook special. And we'll probably do one of the Toyotas too, which personally that's not my favorite of them all, but you know, hey, it is what it is. I'm a GM and Mopar man, mostly Mopar, and if there's one of those out, I'll review them all. Okay, guys, I appreciate you tagging along on this. God bless. Hope y'all have an awesome weekend. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.